It's probably no surprise that the German Pavilion is focusing on sustainability, giving some creative examples of making old buildings new again.
The main entrance is closed, the portico flanked by Venetian park benches, and an arrow points the way to the side door. It's all part of the concept commissioned by Muck Petzet, curator of the German Pavilion. A walkway made of discarded flood crossings from various cities, including Venice, lead us through an exhibition of projects that exemplify an affirmative approach to recycling in everyday architecture. It sheds new light on the usually church-like halls of the pavilion as well.
When people enter from the side, they suddenly perceive the space differently. They see how wonderful these side rooms are. Entering through the side is a simple trick, but it leads to an entirely new view of this architecture.
At first glance, the impression is a cool, almost distanced one that disguises Muck Petzet's passionate idealism. Petzet wants to highlight the role of architecture not as the creator of the new, but as an agent for the sustainable use of our existing built space and environment.
The exhibition draws in the viewers because everyday architecture has a very strong and compelling presence.
Often less is more. The facade of this house shows just where the addition was put on.
What we aim to show here is that it's worthwhile to devote some of our idealism to what's already there. We should identify with it and engage with it. That might sound idealistic, but I think we're capable of it, and I believe it's one of the duties of architecture to build upon what already exists.
Muck Petzet comes from Munich, where he's implemented his idea of preservation and reuse in his own projects. The cafeteria on the grounds of the 1972 Olympic Park, made of prefab components, was once considered one of the most modern structures of its kind. In his conversion of the former cafeteria, Petzet made explicit references to Paris's Centre Pompidou. The old ceiling was removed, exposing the supply pipes and structural supports. The reading room of the library is especially impressive. An oasis of quiet has replaced the tables where people once ate. The student dormitory is right next door. It was the first dorm in Germany in which residents all had their own rooms, each equipped with a kitchen and a shower. Now, 40 years on, it's getting an energy-efficient renovation. The design was developed by Knarrer and Lang, architects in Dresden. The size of the rooms is no longer suited to contemporary needs, so they've been made larger by removing the balconies. But through a trick of the eye, the facade appears unchanged. Slanted window reveals provide an illusion of depth.
We never intended to treat the structure as a museum and maintain it exactly as it was before. Instead, we wanted to extend the practical qualities of the building over the long term.
The architects made deliberate reference to the color concept originally developed for the Olympic buildings. The rooms are now larger, but have a restrained, even austere appearance. The student dormitory in Dresden is quite different. Knarrer and Lang worked on numerous renovations of old prefab high-rise buildings in districts near the University of Technology. They put this experience to good use in the dormitory renovation, which yielded astonishing results with a minimum of change. At the statue of August the Strong, a Dresden landmark, the architects demonstrated how well Baroque and prefab architecture can cohabitate. The city center is also where their most successful project is located, the renovation of this residential slab building from the 1970s.
We wanted to emphasize the qualities that we already saw in the building. So we emphasized that the building is long and large, that it's a large slab, which is the dominant element.
It's a machine for living, much along the lines of Le Corbusier's model in the middle of Dresden. A few years ago, it was on the verge of demolition. That would have meant the loss of 600 affordable and highly desirable one-person apartment units. It would also have permanently changed the character of the street, Prager Straße, which was rebuilt after the Second World War.
It is a simple building for ordinary people who can afford to live there, and we wanted to take that and maintain it to bring it into the present day. Maintaining these affordable apartments here in the center of town was also a social issue.
Dresden's Prager Straße was the first pedestrian zone built in the former East Germany. Modeled after the Leinbahn in Rotterdam, Prager Straße is now an icon of post-war socialist modernism. The new architects are pleased.
Maintaining buildings and spaces that are witnesses to the period is important. We need more than just Baroque and Wilhelminian architecture. It might not be as valued right now, but it's an important legacy for later generations.
Giving due attention to the simple and the ordinary. That's Muck Petzet's credo, which he's demonstrated to great effect at the German Pavilion in Venice.